Now we all know about the mainstream Pokemon games, starting all the way back from Pokemon Red and Blue, and now in 2023 at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Though there are many Pokemon games that have just fallen through the cracks and do not get as much love and appreciation as they should. Now one of my most played Pokemon games when I was a kid had to be Pokemon Pinball. When thinking about it, they have not made a Pokemon Pinball game since 2003. So in this video, we are going to deep dive into the legacy that is Pokemon Pinball. So make sure to sit back, relax, make sure to hit the like button, and subscribe guys, and now let's get into it. Pokemon Pinball was released in 1999 for the Game Boy Color. This took the classic pinball experience and blended it with the Pokemon universe. Players could capture Pokemon by hitting them with the Pokeball, adding a unique twist to the traditional pinball gameplay. Pokemon Pinball was a game developed by Jupiter and published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. The series combines the gameplay of the traditional pinball games with elements from the Pokemon franchise. Here's a quick history of how the Pokemon Pinball series got started. The first game was released in 1999 on the Game Boy Color. Players could control a pinball equipped with the Pokeball, and the goal was to catch many different species of Pokemon by hitting them with the ball. Now Pokemon Pinball had a unique gameplay experience. Pokemon Pinball maintained the traditional pinball gameplay where players used flickers to keep a Pokeball in play on a pinball table. However, unlike regular pinball, the objective was to catch Pokemon, not to get points. Players could encounter and catch different species of Pokemon by hitting them with the Pokeball and then successfully capturing them. The Pokemon catching was also quite unique. To catch Pokemon, players had to hit them multiple times with the Pokeball to weaken them and capture them. The captured Pokemon were then added to the player's Pokedex. The more Pokemon a player captured, the higher their score became. They even had evolutions. In addition to catching Pokemon, players could also evolve them. By hitting certain targets in the game, players could trigger evolution events, allowing their captured Pokemon to evolve into their next forms. Evolution also affected the gameplay, providing a brand new opportunity and challenges for the player. Pokemon Pinball was also one of the few Game Boy Color games to feature a unique built-in rumble feature. When certain in-game events occurred, the game cartridge would actually vibrate, enhancing the gameplay experience and adding a tactical element to the pinball action. The game also had in-game events, which you can also consider mini-games in the game itself. Just to share a few, there was a Diglett minigame where you had to hit all the Diglets in a given amount of time. Then there was the Ghastly Evolution Line minigame, where you're in a graveyard trying to hit all the Ghastlies, then Haunters, and eventually a boss Gengar. Meowth even had his own minigame, where you just had to hit him and collect as many amulet coins as possible. If you were lucky enough to get a Mewtwo encounter, you had to make sure to hit him past the glowing aura he's surrounding himself with and beat him in the time given. Now this game actually utilized a battery save system, allowing players to save high scores, capturing Pokemon, and progress in the Pokedex. This feature was essential for players to continue their quest to catch them all over multiple play sessions. Overall, Pokemon Pinball for the Game Boy Color was praised for its creativity in combining the pinball genre with the beloved Pokemon franchise. It provided an engaging and enjoyable experience for players, making it a memorable title for fans. Now, you were able to catch all 150 Pokemon besides one. Yes, it was Mew. Mew was the one Pokemon you could not catch in the old game besides using cheat codes. I was able to find a video on YouTube regarding the Mew glitch and a player actually capturing Mew for his game. As you can see, it does not look like the usual gameplay you are used to when watching and playing Pokemon Pinball. It seems a lot more glitched when trying to catch Mew, as the game cannot register what's going on. Then in 2003, the second installment in the series arrived for the Game Boy Advance. The game expanded on the original concept, incorporating Pokemon for the third generation from Ruby and Sapphire. It introduced new mechanics, such as the ability to catch and evolve Pokemon, and included more intricate pinball tables with various missions and challenges. Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire retained the pinball mechanics of the original game, where the players use the flippers on the side of the screen to keep the Pokemon in play on the pinball table. The objective again was to catch and evolve Pokemon by hitting them with the Pokeball and successfully capturing them. This time there are two different pinball tables which featured a Ruby field and a Sapphire field, each representing different areas in Hoenn and different Pokemon to be caught on each field. Each table had a distinct layout and challenges and Pokemon species to encounter and capture. The Pokemon catching evolution was almost the same. Players could encounter a variety of Pokemon from Hoenn and attempt to catch them by hitting them with the Pokeball. Then captured Pokemon were added to the player's Pokedex. Additionally, the game introduced a new gameplay element, such as the ability to evolve Pokemon directly on the pinball table, adding a strategic depth to the gameplay. A real-time day and night cycle system was added and incorporated into the game. Certain Pokemon only appeared during specific times, day or night, adding a time-based challenge for players. The game also featured various mini-games and challenges that the player could unlock by completing specific objectives on the pinball table. These mini-games provided additional ways to catch Pokemon and earn points. I feel like they did a much better job with the mini-games in this game and gave much more of a challenge when trying to complete them. Some of my favorites were the Kecleon one, where you end up having to hit him when he's invisible and trying to shoot the ball around until you hit him. The Celio and Spheal basketball one, where you have to shoot the ball up the slide and make as many baskets in a given time. They also had a reimagining of the Ghastly game, but using Duskull and Dusclops as the boss and Pokemon for the game. The game also allowed you to encounter both sets of legendary Pokemon depending on which field you play on. Ruby had Groudon and Sapphire had Kyogre. Then in the end, the boss battle was to battle and defeat Rayquaza. This was no easy task. There are even well-known speedrunners who were even able to activate and beat the boss round with Rayquaza in less than 30 minutes. The game also supported Game Boy Advance link cable, allowing players to connect and trade between Pokemon Pinball games. Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire received positive reviews for its engaging gameplay, colorful graphics, and seamless integrating of the pinball mechanics with the Pokemon universe. Now, both games were well received for their creative integration of the Pokemon universe into the pinball format, providing an engaging experience for both pinball enthusiasts and Pokemon fans around the world. Now, while no new main entries in the series have been released beyond these two titles, the unique combination of pinball gameplay and Pokemon collecting continues to be fond memories by players around the world. I remember spending hours trying to catch every single Pokemon and achieve the highest score possible in these games. The thrill of just hunting rare Pokemon and beating all the bosses and minigames was a thrill I don't know if I'll ever get back from any other Pokemon game. Now, whether you're a pinball enthusiast or a Pokemon fan, these games offer a unique and delightful experience that you have to at least try once in your life. The blend of pinball mechanics and Pokemon catching makes for an addictive gameplay, and you just want to continue playing over and over again. Well, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey and deep diving what made Pokemon Pinball so immersive and such a great game. Thank you once again to all the members who are part of this channel. Really means a lot to me. Make sure, guys, if you guys want to become members, get shoutouts at the end of every single video, make sure to hit that blue button down below. Make sure to also hit that like button down below and subscribe if you have not. It would really help the channel out a lot. And remember, it is also free and helps you push out the best content possible. Until next time, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next Pokemon video.